So we are live now. Maybe. So we are live now. Maybe. So we are live now. Okay, sorry, just a minute.
Hello, Dr. Shakir. Are you listening me?
Yes. Hello, Professor.
Hello, Dr. Shakir.
Are you online? Yeah, that's good.
Hello, Dr.
Thank
Shakir.
you. Yeah.
Are you listening me?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, that's fine, Dr. Shakir. I'm here and
Hello,
Dr. Shakir.
Are you online? Yeah, that's good.
Hello, Dr.
Thank
Shakir.
you. Yeah.
Are you listening me?
Yes. So I think it's okay now. I just set the live stream and the whole session will be live on YouTube, and I will share the link. You can share with your colleagues and friends. They can join us on YouTube, and this is the link. Sorry. This is the link for YouTube channel. You can share with your friends and colleagues, and they can join us on YouTube. Okay, so we are moving toward the session, and welcome all to the International Conference on Economic Business, Tourism, and Social Sciences, organized by International Institute of Academic Research and Publication, known as IIARP. I'm Dr. Shakir and the coordinator for this conference. And I hope that all the participants already got the program schedule and other instructions for this online session. And it is to be noted that each presentation will have 10 minutes and extra 5 minutes for question and answers. After completion of all the presentations, we will have a question and answer session, and you can ask questions for question and answers. After completions, if any. I want to mention that those who already sent the presentations in recording form do not need to play it here live on Zoom. We will upload it on our YouTube channel and the link will be shared. Those who already, those who they are needed by their universities to play their videos, and Zoom can come to play it on Zoom, no problem, okay? And in this session, I welcome our session chair, Professor Khalilur Rahman from Hazara University, Pakistan. And Professor Khalilur Rahman will have the role to assess and evaluate every live presentation, and on the basis of their assessment, the best presenter will get an award in the form of certificates. And the assessment criteria is quite simple, which include but not limited to the points such as the best contents from the paper, good presentation skills, time management skills, the attraction of audiences, good impression on the audience, etc. So I hope you will enjoy this session with us. And without wasting our time, I think we can start the session. But before this, I think it's quite important to introduce you with our organization, IIARP. And for this purpose, I have PPT. I need to share my screen. So let's move to the multiple screen sharing option that later you can also be able to share. So let's move. Is it visible to everyone?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So this is International Institute of Academic Research and Publication, based in India. Website www.iiarp.org, and our email is info@iiarp.org. IIARP is a conglomeration of academia and professionals, aims to promote research and innovation and creating a global footprint. IIRP also aims to bring together worldwide researchers and professionals, encouraging an intellectual development and providing opportunities for networking and collaboration. The association is actively involved in academic networking, meetings, conferences, workshop projects, research publication, academic awards, and scholarships. So what basically we do, IIARP do, is our main objective to attract researchers from different fields to share their knowledge and scientific breakthroughs to a wide audience under one roof. Under one roof also basically mean online as well as physical on-site conferences, workshop, and many more activities. We also deeply believe that sharing information and staying up to date is a key toward success for a scholar or researcher or the people in academia. And sometimes we lose our time while looking for the solution that others have already found. So we can share all those solutions through interaction in such kind of academic activities as conferences, workshop, and other events through the platform of IIARP. So what basically we do, help in world-class networking for scholars and researchers, organizing international as well as national conferences, and involved in international journals publications, which include research papers, proceedings, posters, e-posters, and many more. IIARP is well known for organizing scientific and academic international conferences in Malaysia, Thailand, Japan, Indonesia, India, Singapore, UAE, Sri Lanka, Philippines, and Bangladesh, Nepal, Russia, Egypt, Nigeria, USA, and many more different countries and top cities of the world. These are our associates, which include PhD cluster, and our media partner is Conference 360, and our publications are mostly supported by F1000 Research, which is a journal of Taylor and Francis. And this is about IIARP publication, and is researchers participating in our conferences or connecting with IIARP, you will have the opportunities to publish your conference, your papers in the conference proceedings. You can also opt for publishing your extended abstract, e-posters, and presentation slides with the DOI. And you can also opt for publishing your full research manuscript with the DOI in a journal indexed by Google Scholar and other databases. And all the accepted and registered full papers will be published in multidisciplinary Scopus Index journals, those who opt for this option. And we strongly recommend to all the participants in this session to opt for publishing in F1000 Research through a platform, a gateway of IIRP and F1000 Research. It is a Scopus Q1 journal and very good and easy and fast track publishing process. Later, I will explain how it works. So this is a recommendation from our side for publication in this journal. Because we have, IIARP have a gateway in F1000 Research. And what is IIARP publication gateway? Is an open access publication hub, which is dedicated to publishing research rapidly in a transparent manner. How it works? F1000 Research provide a platform to to publish all form of research, which include the physical, life sciences, engineering, medicine, business, economics, management, social science, humanities, ranging from research article to software tools articles, as well as many other formats, including posters and lecture slides. All these kind of stuff you can easily publish through our gateway in F1000 research. What are the benefits to offer this option to publish in F1000 research? It's quite interesting that it enables authors, not editors, to decide what they wish to publish. For example, authors can suggest to peer reviewers and control the whole process. How it works, you can see. You can submit your paper here in F1000 research, and the associated data, such as the database, questionnaire, field notes, interview notes, or other kind of data associated with your article, should be published in a depository such as the Figshare, other platform. And when the article in the data is published, then you can suggest, as an author, you can suggest reviewers from your side, and the reviewers will be invited to review your paper. When you submit the revised version again to the journal, and it is approved by 2 reviewers, for example, it is reviewed by 4 reviewers, and it is after the submission of revised version, it is approved by 2 reviewers. It means your article is indexed as Scopus Q1. So you see that it's an author-oriented process, not as editor-oriented process. Sorry? And these are some of the examples of papers published by IIARP and Scopus, as well as Web of Science journals. These are some of the highlights from the past conferences. You can visit our website, www.iirp.org, for more information about conferences and papers publication. So that's all. And thank you so much. Now, I will invite Professor Khalilur Rahman to have a starting remarks, and then we can move to call the presenters to present their papers. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Shakir. Thank you for briefing us about the IIARP, and welcome to all the participants of this event. I am Dr. Khalilur Rahman, Associate Professor of Sociology, Hazara University, Mansehra, and today I will chair this session, and I will also assess the papers presented by the participants, and finally I will submit my remarks, and one of the top presenter will be given the award. I have the list of the papers to be presented in this conference. There are, I think, 15, 19 or 20 papers, but as Dr. Shakir told us that some of the papers have been already submitted in the video form, and these shall be presented, and these shall be uploaded on the YouTube channels. So now it's time to formally invite the first presenter. The title of the paper is Influence of Supply Chain Agility on Supply Chain Resilience and Supply Chain Performance under Environmental Risks. The author of the paper is Chia Chan. So I am formally inviting the author to present the research paper. So please.
Shashan,
Chia Sean.
are you
Please.
available? Paper ID.
Paper ID is 210822-300. 300.
300.
Yes.
Paper ID 300. Are you available? If not, I think just let me check.
I think the presenter is not around here
Not
with us.
available. I think so. We can move to the next
Yes,
participant.
the second one is smart cashier software development for Indonesian pasar rakyat traders as an effort for economic recovery during the COVID-19 pandemic using design thinking. The author is Rismayani. So I am formally inviting the author, Rismayani.
Sir, it's a video presentation, so we can move to the next one.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Shakir. So I skipped the one that is 302. So I am pulling myself back to the second one with paper ID 302, study on structure and performance of the pharmaceutical industry in Indonesia. So this is what the same author, Rismayani.
Yeah, it's also a video presentation, so skip it, please.
That's great. Thank you very much, Dr. Shakir, for the information. So now I am moving to the next research paper entitled Measuring Efficiency, Productivity, and Profitability of Banks, and static panel analysis of Indian banking sector using Camless framework. The author is Niharika Singh, and with paper ID 305. So I'm formally inviting the author to come and to present the research paper. So
305, paper ID 305.
The author is Niharika Singh.
Yeah, it's also not available, so please move to the next.
I think the author has submitted the research in the video form, and the same shall be uploaded on the YouTube channel. So now I am moving forward to the next 306, social media impact on recruitment process as a new multi-user communication resource. Author is Denisa Bogdana Bruda. So I am inviting the author to present the research. The title of the paper is Social Media Impact on Recruitment Process as a New multi-user communication resources. So please.
306 is a video. Please, sir, skip it. Thank you.
Okay. The next one is the paper ID is 309. The paper title is Purchasing Decision for Jammu during the COVID-19 pandemic in Surakarta, Central Java, Indonesia. The author is Detiwa Robert Sapotra. So I am inviting the author, Detiwa Robert Sapotra, to come forward and present the research. So please.
Thank you so much, sir. Please skip is for video presentation.
Okay, that's fine. The next one is 310, paper ID, and with paper title, Win Fashion Mid-Face Masks, Celebrity Endorsement, Product Risk Awareness, and Purchase Decisions for Mask Strap Necklace. And the author is Chintia Nagata. So I am inviting the author to come forward and...
It's the same, sir. Please skip.
Okay, The next one is 319. The title of the paper is Does Intellectual Capital Matter with Financial Performance on Firm Value? An empirical study of online game industry in Taiwan. The author is Hsing Hoa Hishong. So I am inviting the author to come and to present the research.
Skip it, sir, please. Move
Okay, the next one is 322, the effect of using audit tool and linked archived system, computer self-efficacy, professional ethics, and professional training on audit performance. Author is Dian Nala Dimianti. I am inviting if the author is around here with us, so please come forward to present the research. The paper ID is 322.
Please, sir, skip. Thank you.
Okay, the next one is 323. The ID of the paper is 323. The title is The Effect of Information Technology Utilization, Professional Skepticism, Competence, and Ethics on Remote Audit Quality. The author is Harry Trifanto Siritonga. Sorry if I am pronouncing the name incorrectly. So I am formally inviting the author to come forward and to present the research. ID is 323.
ID 322 and 323. You already sent the video presentation, so we will upload it to our YouTube channel, and you don't need to play it here. Or if you want to play it here or present it here, still you can.
Yes, this is an offer. If the author is around here, so the author can present the research. If the author is present in person here, so he or she can present her research over
Paper
here.
ID 322 and 323. Are you available? Okay, so sir, please move to the next.
That's fine. Now, Dr. Shakir, thank you so much. And now I am moving to the next one. The paper ID is 325, Social Welfare Policy for Coronavirus Disease 2019, Impact and Assistance Guidelines. The author is Pimakon Daman-Kaur, PhD. So I am inviting the author to come forward and present the research with title Social Welfare Policy for Coronavirus Disease 2019 Impacts and Assistance Guidelines.
Paper ID 325. You didn't send any video, so if you are available here, you can come to present your paper.
Yes, there is no, I think that there is no research paper here available for video presentation. So if the author is available here, so we are inviting you to come forward and present the paper entitled Social Welfare Policy for Coronavirus Disease 2019 Impacts and Assistance Guidelines. So please.
Okay, sir, please move to the next one.
I think that Shakil, the author, is not present, but the research she has provided is very important because it deals with one of the most important issue, that is what social welfare policy for coronavirus diseases. That is one of the most critical topic in these days. So now I would like to move forward and to invite another author with the paper ID 329. How to value of a company with negative cash earning, a case study of Tesla. The author is Muhammad Vinata. So I am inviting the author to come forward and present the research with 329 ID.
329, paper ID 329. If you already sent your video, I know it. It's here, recorded as a video presentation. But if you want to present it here is live, you can present it. 329. Okay, thank you so much. So please move. forward.
Okay, the next one is 330, the effect of religiosity on ethical behavior and its impact on the entrepreneur's success. The author is Aldora Ardeen Susanto. Aldora Ardeen Susanto is invited to come forward to present the research with title The Effect of Religiosity on Ethical Behavior and its Impact on Entrepreneur's Success. The ID of the paper is 330. So please.
Paper 330. You already sent your paper, your presentation in video form, and we already uploaded it to our YouTube channel. If you want to play it here or present it as live, you can come to present it. Okay, so please move forward. Thank
I
you.
think the author is not available, and now I have to move to the next one, and it is the paper ID is 331. Peer jamming, promoting collaborative learning and enhancing students' engagement using Jamboard. The author is Dr. Irda Wati Bakar. I am inviting Dr. Irda Wati Bakar to come forward and present the research titled Peer Jamming, Promoting Collaborative Learning and Enhancing Students' Engagement Using Jamboard. The ID of the paper is 331. So please.
331, paper 331, you already sent your video presentation, but if you want to present it here as live, you can come to present it. Dr. Erdawati Bakar, can you hear me?
Yes, I can, but it's okay. I already uploaded I already sent the video, right?
Okay, thank you. Okay, please.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, that's great. Thank you so much. So should I move to the next one, Dr. Shaki?
Yeah, please.
Okay, that's fine. The paper ID 332, Attitudes and Perceived Competence of Psychometricians toward Psychological Assessment in the Philippines. The author of this article is Arki Bilangit Songa. I am inviting the author to come forward and present the research on attitudes and perceived competence of psychometricians toward psychological assessment in the Philippines with paper ID 332. So please.
332 is a video presentation, so I think we can skip and move forward.
Hello, excuse me, doctor. If I can present, maybe if I can present it live, I can present it.
You can, please.
Okay. I will just have to present my screen. Okay.
Yeah. Share your screen.
Okay. Can you see my screen now?
Yeah, it's visible.
Yes, it's visible. Thank you.
Okay. So again, let me start. Okay. So thank you so much for this opportunity to present our paper. So our paper is titled Attitudes and Perceived Competence of Psychometricians Towards Psychological Teleassessment in the Philippines. So I have my co-author with me, Ms. Joey Lumano Gadbincula, and I'm Archie Balingitsunga. So just an information about the authors, sorry. Ms. Joey Gadbincula is a psychologist at the Hospital ng Makati, and yours truly, I'm Archie Bisunga. I'm also a psychologist, but I work as a lecturer at RGO Psychology Review Center. So the authors have no conflict of interest to declare. So as an introduction, during the COVID-19 pandemic, there is a need for mental health professionals to adapt to the changing needs for mental health. Okay, and to adapt to the changing needs of their clients. One of these is the call for high-quality healthcare using emerging information and communication technology due to the restrictions in the country. Since here in the Philippines, last time we have at least 2 months of total lockdown due to the COVID-19 pandemic, but the mental health care should be continuous. So professionals adopted telepsychology and teleassessment. So an example is the use of telepsychology and teleassessment to be specific. Telepsychology is the provision of behavioral and mental health care services using technological modalities in place of or in addition to traditional face-to-face methods. So, however, there are different concerns to it with regards to ethics and even in the professional practice. In some of the psychologists or mental health professionals here in the Philippines, they are trained to face-to-face methods, and there's a lack of training in telepsychology and teleassessment. Okay, so we in this study we want to describe the following. We want to describe the attitudes and perceived competence of psychometricians to psychological teleassessment. Next, we want to ask what are the current conditions that will serve as a forward to future initiative regarding its use in the profession and in our country, which is the Philippines. And lastly, the results of this research may formally reach training programs and professional organizations that will help and improve in the conduct of this activity in the future. So we have three aims, the three aims of our study. First, we try to know the attitudes of Filipino registered psychometricians towards psychological teleassessment. Second, we want to know the perceived competence level of Filipino registered psychometricians towards psychological assessment. Lastly, what are the needs? You want to know the needs of Filipino registered psychometricians that will help them conduct psychological teleassessment. By the way, when we talk about psychometricians, these are professionals in the Philippines who are in charge of providing or administering psychological tests to the clients. So for our methods, we utilize a mixed method design. So we use a mixed method design, specifically a descriptive method design for our quantitative research and a qualitative descriptive design for our qualitative data. So there are 64 registered psychometricians in the Philippines who participated in our study, and we use purposive sampling in recruiting our respondents based on criteria such as having experience in participating psychological teleassessment in their employment during the pandemic. Psychologists, guidance counselors, and mental health professionals who have training and backgrounds in teleassessment but have no license, since psychometricians in the Philippines have license, okay, they are excluded. Okay, so psychometricians are the only respondents in our research. For the instrument, we adopted the questionnaire developed by Apolinario Hagen et al. With the permission from the authors. Presented in the presentation is the alpha level of the skills measured in the current study. So an open-ended question about the needs of psychometricians was also added at the last part of our survey to inquire for the needs of the psychometrician in conducting psychological teleassessment in the country. So for our procedure, for our data gathering procedure, the recruitment of the respondents involved 3 steps. First, we posted an infographic display in social media containing the respondents' criteria. Second, the researchers emailed request letters to 30 psychological centers in the Philippines. These are listed in the Mental Health Services and by the Psychological Association of the Philippines. We also sought the assistance of the Clinical Psychology Division and psychology practitioners in public service special interest group of the said association to gather respondents. However, 50% of the psychological centers declined participation for significant reasons. Maybe they do not provide psychological teleassessment during the pandemic. Lastly, the primary survey was administered to the respondents who met the aforementioned criteria through Google Forms. And in analyzing our data, we used mean scores to describe the attitudes and perceived competence towards psychological teleassessment of the respondents. On the other hand, we employed semantic analysis for our qualitative data. For our results, describing the attitudes and perceived competence towards psychological teleassessment, respondents reported a 2.66 mean score, which is interpreted as a positive attitude, while having a 2.27 mean score, which is interpreted as a low perceived competence towards psychological teleassessment. So our respondents, they have a positive attitude. They are willing actually to conduct psychological teleassessment in the country. However, they perceive it or they perceive themselves as having low perceived competence due maybe to the lack of training. So for our results also, they reported a moderate to high level of agreement on view of teleassessment. So they said that teleassessment is in line with modern times. It will reach more individuals with mental health concerns. Many people will get professional help. They should have a lesser expense and an appropriate alternative to conventional face-to-face assessment. Also, physical distance decreases the client's opportunity to speak openly and honestly about important issues. And lastly, more on there's a problem with communication issues. Another one, they reported moderate to high level of disagreement on view of teleassessment. They disagree that it will replace conventional face-to-face assessment in the future. They disagree also that it's a better compatible with work and private life and is as effective as conventional face-to-face assessment. Success and rapport in the test user can be just as easily built. And lastly, they disagree that they would personally prefer a teleassessment. They would mostly prefer the conventional face-to-face teleassessment. Now, for the needs of the psychometricians, based from the open-ended question about their needs, so the following are the results. First, they need training on psychological teleassessment. They need specific local guidelines. Third, more on technological accessibility. Fourth, session security. And lastly, the availability of online psychological tests. For our discussion, the attitude toward teleassessment, having a positive attitude towards teleassessment is consistent with the technology acceptance model and the unified theory of acceptance and use of technology by Venkatesh et al., which emphasizes that perceived usefulness is significant for usage intentions, specifically in the context of teleassessment. It also accentuates the role of awareness and positive attitudes in the increased use of telepresence systems. So having a positive attitude is important to conduct it effectively. On the other hand, a low perceived competence among the respondents is related to what source stated that teleassessment requires more complex preparation, procedural memory skills, and actual hands-on practice. Psychometricians might describe themselves to have low perceived competence due to the lack of preparation and hands-on practice regarding the activity. Now, for the discussion of the needs of psychometricians, first, trainings, specifically continuing professional development activities about psychological teleassessment that are effective and in line with international standards. It will help the psychometricians in conducting the activity or the psychological teleassessment to their clients. Second, there should be specific local guidelines about the role of psychometricians in conducting teleassessment. Although there are guidelines, the role of psychometricians still vary depending on the context. So they requested the specific guidelines for them for the effective implementation of this activity. Third, more on technological accessibility is also a need. The reported internet connection in the Philippines, I'm currently living in the Philippines right now, it's slow actually. So psychometricians reported that they might have difficulties implementing the activity since a stable internet connection is necessary. Also, having sufficient knowledge about computer programs or software is needed, since according to ESDAT, technological competence, equipment, tools, and comfort with technology are needed in remote assessment. Fourth, the session security in the online world is also a need for them. Being in the online world right now, there are some concerns about the privacy and confidentiality of the sessions. Especially, it is a part of our code of ethics. Similarly, it is mandated in the law that any data, which includes personal and sensitive data, from an individual should be carefully secured and protected as stated in the Data Privacy Act of 2012. So having a secured session in the teleassessment is a major need for them. And lastly, for the needs of psychometricians, the availability of online psychological tests is one of their needs. As psychometricians who conduct testing for psychological assessment, standardized tests modified for online testing are necessary. There are available tests, but the psychometric properties during psychological teleassessment are in question due to standardization issues. There are some test publishers like PariConnect and Pearson Assessments who modified and provided tests for digital testing. However, the standardization and psychometric properties should be prioritized in administering those tests. Moreover, having extensive training regarding these tests should be prioritized to minimize errors, because conducting psychological teleassessment is important, especially right now that we are in the pandemic. So for our conclusion, there's a high level of openness to conduct psychological teleassessment among the respondents, especially the psychometricians. Second, there's a low perceived competence to conduct teleassessment to their present and future clientele. And lastly, psychometricians conveyed the need for increased training, local guidelines, and improved access to technology and online tests for teleassessment. For our recommendations and future directions, validated and reliable psychological tests are needed to better describe the attitudes and perceived competence of Filipino psychometricians. Currently, there has been no local and standardized tool to evaluate the attitude and perceived competence of registered psychometricians in the country. Second, sampling was limited to a small number of respondents. We recommend to have bigger sample size and representativeness of psychometricians in different locations in the Philippines to acquire the general attitude and perceived competence. Moreover, operationalizing the terminologies attitudes and perceived competence towards psychological assessment should be delineated using precise descriptions. Questions assessing the needs of the registered psychometricians could be enhanced by operationalizing the needs concept, focusing on specific needs, adding interview questions, or by conducting an in-depth interview. Early determination of their needs could be a focal point for training, services, and other resources. Since the study focuses on the general teleassessment, it is highly suggestive for future studies to focus on using psychological teleassessment in clinical and research practice. Lastly, since the research asked for the needs of the psychometricians in conducting teleassessment, it is recommended for practitioners and professional organizations to consider attending to the needs of the psychometricians in conducting psychological teleassessment, so that the practice of teleassessment can be expanded and utilized in the country. So thank you so much for listening. So the authors, we have Joey Lumargad Vincula, the email and the ORC ID is presented in the screen. And yours truly, I'm Archie Balingitsunga, and my email and my ORC ID is presented in the screen. Again, thank you so much and have a good day.
Thank you so much for the presentation on a very important topic, which was dealing with the attitudes and perceived competence of psychometricians towards psychological daily assessment in the Philippines. It was a very well balanced presentation, and the author has used sound methodological approaches to collect data and then develop a sound theoretical and conceptual framework. And it seems that all objectives, the research objectives planned for this research has been achieved, and I suggest that if the author puts some more efforts to this research, so it can be published in a top recognized research journals. So thank you very much for the nice presentation. And now I would like to come to move forward to the next.
We can come back to the paper ID 305. The
Okay,
author,
so now I would like to come to move back all the audience to the paper ID 305. The title of the paper is Measuring Efficiency, Productivity, and Profitability of Bank and Static Panel Analysis of Indian Banking Sector using CAMDIS framework. The author of the research is Niharika Singh. I am inviting the author to come forward and present research with paper ID number is 305. So please, Niharika Singh.
305. Are you available? just now I received a message. You joined already. I don't know.
Dr. Shakir, I think the author is not present here. So
we can go back to call 300 and 325, which were missed. I think these three.
okay, so I think that I announced the author, but
You
the
just
author was not around.
we just can call the paper ID 300, 305 and 325. If they are available, any one of them, they can come to present their papers.
Yes, the author with 300, 305 and 325. If they are available, so come, please come forward and present your research work here.
Okay, so I think they are disconnected, and we can move forward and we can come back if they join. Okay.
I think the author might be facing some disconnectivity issues. So I think that we have to move forward, and later on, in the later part of the session, we have to move back to the authors, and surely we will give them the opportunity to present their research. So now I would like to move forward and invite the authors. The next research paper, that is the paper ID is 334. The paper title is The Career Readiness Among Trainee Teacher in Sarawak, a Mixed Method Approach. The author is Yip Hyong Chong. So I am inviting the author to come forward and present the research with paper ID 334. So please.
334. Are you available? 334. Paper ID. Yeah, I think it's available.
Yes, yes, I'm here. But I've sent in my video. Is it okay
So
if I?
you wanna just play that video on our YouTube
Yes.
channel? Okay.
Yes,
thank
please.
you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much. Okay, so please move forward. Thank you.
Okay, should I move forward to the next one?
Yeah, thank you, please.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Shakir. Now I am moving forward to invite another participant to come forward and present the research. The paper ID is 335. The paper title is Future Trends in Processed Meat in Thailand. The author of the paper is Panoton. The name is quite long, so I cannot appropriately pronounce the name. Sorry for that. And I'm extremely sorry for that, but I can say that this is what the paper ID is 335. So I am inviting the author to please come forward and present the research paper entitled Future Trend of Processed Meats in Thailand. So please.
335 Punaturn. Yeah, please come.
Yeah.
I think the author is available, and now I'm inviting him to just please start your presentation. So please.
Can I share my screen now?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay.
Can you see my screen?
Yeah, it's visible.
Yeah, okay, thank you very much. Good afternoon, everyone. Glad to be here. As you can see on the screen, our topic is future trends of processed meat products in Thailand. First of all, let me introduce myself. My name is Panathon Kitkancharan. I'm 17 years old. I'm come from Thailand and I'm a student of Bangkok Christian College School. First, I will begin with an abstract. Nowadays, processed meat products are increasingly evolving from the past to meet the changing needs of people. For example, in sour pork, we use gamma irradiation technology to ensure sanitation and safety of fermented pork. Currently, it is a transition period between those with the highest purchasing power, which is Generation Y. However, this could be replaced by Generation Z or teenagers. Therefore, future trends in processed meat consumption depends on Generation Z. This research aims to examine future trends in buying processed meat products, including the preferences and attitudes in Thailand. We use an online questionnaire with 8 close-ended questions, which are divided into 2 parts. The first part, consisting of 2 questions, was created using a selection choice to test the consumption behavior of processed meat products in general. And the second part, with 6 questions, is based on a 5-point Likert scale, which is used to define a consumer's perspective on processed meat products. A total of 210 voluntary responses were received, with all respondents being Thai. The analysis revealed that people in Generation Z had the most positive attitude towards processed meat, followed by Generation Y and X respectively. In conclusion, processed meats will be consumed more in Thailand in the future, and the most popular type of processed meat is pork, using frying as a cooking method. Let's move on the first topic. So what are processed meats? Processed meat are fresh products that have been changed from their original state by cured, salted, smoked, or added some preservatives. This is to increase the food's resilience as well as improving its colors and flavors. Example of processed meats are ham, sausage, bacon, beef jerky, and etc. Next, let's look at an overview of the processed meat industry in Thailand. In Thailand, processed meat products are very popular. According to the Statista, they found that for every 5 households in Thailand, there will be a sausage in their refrigerator. Now, processed meat industry of Thailand generates about 1,037 million US dollars in revenue. In addition to that, it is projected to expand by 3.52% yearly. This relates with the global market, where the market for processed meat tends to increase every year. In 2019, processed meat size was at 519.41 billion US dollars, but is expected to grow at a CAGR of 6.24% rate to reach a peak of 862.97 billion US dollars between 2020 and 2027. Next, I will focus on factors contributing to purchasing decision. It can be found that individual fundamental factors such as gender, age, status, education, occupation, income, and number of family members all play a role in the decision of purchasing processed meat products. However, the most important factor a person considers is the product itself and the cost. Consumers believe that the product must be fresh, clean, and at the same time delicious. Other factors also have a small impact on this behavior. For example, advertising and variety soap. Our purpose is to examine future trends in buying processed meat products, including the preferences and attitude in Thailand for Generation X, Y, and Z. We use Google Forms and Google Sheets as a method in this study. In the online questionnaire, we use 210 respondents with various ranges of age and genders. All respondents are Thai. If we find that a person is not Thai, they are not allowed to take part. However, if they are Thai, it will lead them to the next part of the questionnaire. Our research was completed with the 8 close-ended questions, which are divided into 2 parts. First, consisting of 2 questions, was created using a selection choice. This questionnaire asked about their behavior of consuming processed meat products. And the second part with 6 questions. It's based on a 5-point Likert scale, ranking from the positive view being 5 and the negative view being 1. After we got all the responses, then we need to calculate by the absolute points of each voluntary. First, get all the numbers in each row to calculate the correlation coefficients by the correlational method. And this is our result. So, an attitude towards process meet correlation in generation X, we got 18.51. In generation Y, we got 19.27, and in generation C, we got 19.31. The analysis revealed that people in generation C had the most positive attitude towards process meet because generation C is the new generation doing everything fast, can access the internet easily, and is interested in cutting-edge technology and healthy food. To summarize, generation X, Y, and Z had a positive attitude towards processed meat, with generation C had the most positive attitude. Therefore, our generations, particularly generation C, will consume more. In addition, generation X and Z preferred cooking over frying the most. Meanwhile, generation Y would likely cook processed meat by frying and grilling. And the most popular type of processed meat is our generation is pork. We therefore highly recommend to everyone to think before purchasing and consuming, buying fresh, clean, safe, and be more concerned about the effects of processed meat products on their health. And these are the references. Thank you for your attention. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for the nice presentation. A very important topic. That is what related with the industry. Future trends of processed meats in Thailand. That's what one of the most important industry in the modern world. Now I would like to move forward to invite another researcher with paper ID that is 336. Adopt a mobile application in improving students' performance in communicative English classroom presentation. The author is Eza Binti Zainul Abdin. I am inviting the author to come forward and please present your research work.
Yeah, so I think this is again a video PPT and we can skip and move forward. Thank you.
Yes, this video PPT. So I think that this shall be uploaded to the YouTube channel later on, and that will be available for the readers and the media users. So I think that we have to move forward to the next one, and with paper ID 343. The title of the paper is The Impact of the US 2018 Tax Cuts and Jobs Act on Canadian Business. The author of this article is Tao Zeng. I am inviting Tao Zeng to please come forward and present your research.
Yeah, thank you. So can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good. So I'm going to share my screen. Yeah, could you see my slide?
Yeah, it's visible, please.
Okay, thank you. Hi, everyone. It's my pleasure to present this paper at this conference. So my name is Tao Zeng, and I'm from Wartburg Laurier University in Canada. So I thanks Chair for organizing this conference. So the paper I'm going to present, so this is the impact of the US 2018 Tax Cuts and Job Acts on Canadian business. the U.S. Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, so that was implemented in 2018. So the main purposes of the act was to first to provide tax relief for corporations by reducing tax rate from 35% to 21%. And the other purpose is to prevent the U.S. firms from shifting income out of the country by imposing a minimum tax rate of 10%. So now there are a number of studies that examine the effect of the act on the U.S. capital market, and also the impact of the act on the U.S. firms' financing and investment decisions. But however, the studies on the international effect of this act, for example, the effect of the act on Canadian firms and Canadian businesses are limited. So we expect the act has important impact on the Canadian business or Canadian firms, because many of the Canadian firms, so they have the operations in the US and they have subsidiaries in the US. And also there's a high level of economic interdependence between these two countries. So if you look at the tax planning strategies in the past, for Canadian firms with the US subsidiaries, so the tax planning strategies was shifting income from the US to Canada, just because in Canada we have a lower tax rates compared with the US. But now with a large decrease in the US corporate tax rates, from 35% to 21%, and then shifting income from US to Canada may not be an effective tax planning strategy. And also the act has introduced rules to encourage investment in the US. So for example, the Tax Cut Jobs Act allows a full deduction of capital costs and also allows an accelerated deductions on research and development expenses. So we expect that Canadian firms may shift their R&D activities and also shift their operations to the US. So the purpose of this study is to examine the impact of the act on the Canadian businesses by answering two questions. First, do Canadian firms with operations in the US reduce tax liability after the Tax Cut Jobs Act? And the second question is, do Canadian firms increase their investments and operations in the US after the implementation of the act? So here the data and the samples. So we have the sample data include Canadian publicly traded firms, and for the time periods 2015 to 2019. So this is the time period around the implementation of the act. And the financial data was collected from CompuStat database. And the firms in our samples, they should have their financial data available from CompuStat. And also the firms, they have US operations in any of these 5 years from 2015 to 2019. And totally we have 1,637 firm year observations. And if you look at the model, so we designed two models to answer those two questions. So the first model is going to answer the question, so that is whether the US firms, they reduce their tax rates after the implementation of the act. Okay, so we have dependent variable, so that is a tax liability, which is measured at the income tax paid scaled by the pre-tax income. So that is a dependent variable. And for the independent variables, so we have the indicator variable, so equal to 1 for the years 2018 and 2019. So those are the 2 years after the act, and 0 otherwise. And then the second independent variable, so that is the investment in the US. And that is measured as either the firm's US assets are scaled by total foreign assets, or the firm's US non-current assets over the total foreign non-current assets. And then we look at the interaction between these two variables. So the indicator variable of the act and the investment in the US. And we also control some other variables, including the firm size and leverage, return on assets, which are using to control for the company's characteristics. And also we control industry, we also control firm the year fixed effect. So that's the first model. And the second model is used to answer the second question. So whether the Canadian firms increase their investment in the US after the implementation of the act. So the dependent variables. So that is the operation in the US. So that will be measured as two proxies. So either the firm's US non-current assets over total, or the firm's US sales over the total foreign sales. And we also control some other control variables and also control for industry and year fixed effect. Okay, so for the first model, so here have the results. And if you look at the results, so you find, okay, so we are interested in the interactions. So after the implementation of the act, and we find the firms, so we find the firms with the US investments, so it's the coefficient is negative. So that means the overall tax payment is reduced. See, and also the this is the total asset in the US, and this is the non-current asset in the US. So this means, okay, so after the implementation of the act and the firm with US investment, they pay lower tax liability. So their tax payment is reduced. So we find the first impact of the act on the Canadian firms. So their tax liability is reduced if they have US investment. So after the act, so their tax liability is reduced. And then for the second model, if you look at the coefficient on the indicator variables, so the act, so Tax Cut Job Act, so you find the coefficient, they are positive. So in other words, that means after the implementation of the act, so the Canadian firms, they increase their US operations. So the non-current assets increased and the sales in the US increased. So this answered the second question. So overall, this study is archival data for the time period, so 5 years. So this is the time period around the implementation of the act. And this study finds that the first, so in the year after the act, so 2018 and 2019. So we find Canadian firms, they have operation in the US, they benefit from the implementation of the act by paying overall lower taxes, which is measured as cash effective tax rates. So cash tax paid over pre-tax earnings, and relative to the other year, so before the act. And the second finding is, so Canadian firms increase their operation and investment after the act by increasing the non-current asset and increasing revenue in the US, so relative to the years before the act. So collectively, we find the evidence showing that the US Tax Cut Job Act actually had a very important impact on Canadian firms and Canadian businesses. But now, there's a limitation for this study. So if you look at the data, so we only have 2 years data after the implementation of the act. So that means we can only find the short-term effect of the act on Canadian business. So we still do not know what the long-term effect of the act on the Canadian firms or Canadian businesses. So this is my presentation. And thank you for attending my presentation. And thanks everyone. So have a nice day. Thank you.
Thank you so much for the presentation. It was a very important topic, and it was related with X net in the US context. Paper was well-balanced presentation and sound methodological grounding. And now I would like to move forward to invite another researcher. And the paper title is Kimki Dux the Net, a manifestation of the postmodern ethics. Paper ID is 346, and the author is Kagan Tahan. I would like to invite Kagan Tahan to come forward and present the important topic. Research Kimki Dux the Net, a manifestation of the postmodern ethics. So please come and present your research.
346 is not available and it is video, so we can come back to the missing presentations. And I think those were 300 and 305. If they are available, they can come to present it. Otherwise, we will go to the Q&A session.
Please, the paper IDs that have been mentioned by Dr. Shakir, if the authors are available, so please come forward and present your research. Those are our missing presentation during the session. So if the authors have resolved their internet issues and they are now online and they are available, so please come forward, and we are giving you the opportunity in this part of the session to present your research work, and then later on we will come to the question and answer session. So please.
Yeah, these are 3 papers, 300 to be presented by Xia Chuan, and 305 to be presented by Niharika Singh, and 325 to be presented by Pema Kong.
Dr. Shakir, I think that the authors are not available. So we have to move forward to the next part of this session. That is question and answer. I am formally inviting all the authors to be the part of the question and answer session. And if you have any question with any research papers and relating to any of the presenter, so please one by one can ask the question, and the related authors or the presenter have the opportunity.
Even if there are any suggestions or not even questions, suggestions and everything are welcome. Thank you.
Yes. So now the session is open for question and answer. So please.
Yeah, not only related to the papers of presentation, or you can ask general questions related to papers, publications, and many other things.
Hello, good afternoon. This is Pimakar. May I ask you some question? Because my paper is number 325. Can I present now, or
I can actually we were calling your name in your paper ID, but I don't know, maybe your internet problem. So you can come.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay, so can I present now?
Yeah, please share your screen.
Okay, thank you. Okay, good. Good afternoon, everyone. Can you see my screen?
Yeah, it's visible.
Okay. Thank you so much. And nice to come to this conference, international conference. Actually, I'm one of the research regarding to the topic is about the social welfare policy for coronavirus disease 2019 impact and assistance guideline. Okay. My background is I'm lecturer of social development at the Faculty of Humanities and Social Science, Konkan University. Anyway, this is a research under the National Research Institute of Thailand, and I will present very briefly. Okay. Actually, this is the abstract. Just a moment. Normally, because of the university that the social welfare in the developing country, like in Thailand, still need to improve continuously, and there's still some need to some guideline, because the social at this moment, when have some have the COVID-19 pandemics, the social welfare policy implementation and effect, there's so many effects to many groups in Thailand. So the people, for example, they have a big impact to the economics and social dimension. So this one going to be very important to the government to consider how to support and how to help the people. In this research, the results show that Thailand has a number of laws related to the social welfare provision, but they still use the conventional applied concept with the emphasis on providing assistance by like the social work, but and protection of the rights under the constitution laws respectively, but it's still unable to enhance the way of thinking to create a social participation and social partnership. This research has so many, maybe the research looks so, the topic looks very big, because it's about the policy, right? But I will show you for this introduction, because there's a pandemic of COVID made about 13 million people infected around the world, and there's about 572,000 around the world at the year 2020. And because of the 17 Sustainable Development Goal, they need to develop and try to keep this role in a sustainable and stay wellness together. And because of Thailand has a 20 years national strategic plan since the 2018 until 2037, but it seems like not to effective to the term of strategy, and the benefits, the impact to people for all aspects. But this research will emphasize on the economics and social dimension, and also because this pandemic make life change.
I'm asking, are you moving your slides? I can only see your first.
Okay. Is it small? That's small.
It's not moving. I don't know. Maybe, yeah.
Okay, just a moment.
You can reshare your screen.
Okay, a moment, please. Share my screen. Okay. Can you see?
Just, yeah, please now.
Okay.
Yeah, it's okay now. Thank you.
Okay. Maybe if full screen is less work. Okay, anyway. The list object, you see that study the consumption and consequence of implementing social welfare policy and welfare group, highlights the impact of COVID in the social and economic dimension, and suggest innovative social welfare in this research result. Okay, and in the researcher review, we use for the 4 pillars of Thailand welfare system: social service, social insurance, social assistance, and social promotion. This is the like a conventional and mainstream of social welfare concept. And the conceptual framework we use about 5 the concept or theory to try to make it on track and lead to the innovation of social welfare. Anyway, the concept of the public welfare arrangement in we separate into 2 sections in emergency and normal condition. But normally, for the first concept is charity, the second is protection of life, engaging, and the fourth is social partnership. You see that the arrow, if in the normal way, the arrow will go to the right side, right? But at this moment, the government, they use the convert concept to use the charity. You see that there's so many news on television that the Thai government try to give to people by the charity way. And then another is the service accessibility concept, because this one can show that there's so many problems in social welfare in the term of operation or by practical by the government. So for example, this is inadequate and accessibility, service quality also still not so good, and limited of staff. There's so lack of staff in many functions, lack of coverage and cover, lack of unity of the policy. You can see that it's about 11 minister and function responsible for social welfare or social protection in Thailand. And the concept of participatory decentralization, this is what we found and we have created. So this is in Thai. The picture A is mean that we try to decentralize in the normal way. This is the public, this is the community, this is the people, and this is the non-government organization or NGO. And it lead to the picture B is mean that in the heart of concept is going to be NGO or socialization. And government concept also important. So we used to, this is a research concept when the spread of COVID-19 COVID virus pandemic is make the situation outcome of welfare policy. And the concept of we use it for concept of PILA, and we try to find a guideline, and based on the good governance and management, and then we found the appropriate policy guideline and welfare scheme. We use the business method, we use the research, we use the focus group and public hearing, and also the survey research. Normally, it seems like another country. We have the economic recession, health system cost increase, layoff, unemployment. Household debt burden increased about 5%, but now I think it's more than 50%. Decreased treasury management efficiency, social impact. It has the social cost increase, they have crime and suicide a lot in Thailand, and anxiety society, changing the learning style. Use the online system instead of on-site system, and family have many problems, financial distress, and also have the health problem, especially for the vulnerable group. They have to the government need to jump in to help them in very emergency. Summarize key points from the focus group. This is focus group. They say that social security has a problem with delay, change the way of thinking and intention on welfare. This is you can see that they have to the focus thing is that the income collaborate with UBI needs to improvement immediately. The summary way of improve the Thai welfare system, improve the budget allocation system, because now it's not fair for budget allocation, and create the welfare society in a spirit way according to the local context, and benefit must be comprehensive and risk management. Provide the UBI and also decentralized welfare allocation to the local government. This is very important because this seems like for the first stage of the COVID-19 pandemic, government did a lot of effort and budgets to help the people. in the country. So then there's not enough money to do that. Guideline for social welfare in emergency situation. Government, this in the left hand side is normal situation. The right hand side is the emergency situation. You see that for the way of assistance it will be different. And some real way of improve the Thai welfare system for the focus to improve the this one. Okay, so I will summary for the emergency welfare guideline to help to heal those effects COVID-19 impact. Actually, we use the formula of social welfare, but the first thing is to create the social security system, both basic and marginal levels. The second one is social assistance, money heals low income family and poor people, especially household that can measure. The third one is social service and social being, providing the medical care, universal health insurance. And the first one is a social promotion. They need the creation of various forms of assistance funds, contingency and funds, and promote social welfare arrangement under the government and good management of the Thai government. Recommendation suitable welfare scheme emergency. Okay, this one, budget management, create welfare society, and equal community system welfare, design and restructure of social protection policy, preparing it sufficiently in all dimensions, and develop effective multi-channel implementation, because there are some people they're not approachable to the source of system. Okay, this is the overview of welfare scheme and are suitable for welfare management. We use the formula of social welfare, and I use this is the final one. Okay, thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you so much. Professor Khalilur Rahman, are you available? I think he has internet connection problem.
Thank you, Dr. Shakir, and thank you for the presentation. Now, I'm going to announce that if anyone has the presentation and left that in the presentation list, and the authors are available, so I'm inviting them to come forward and present the research paper. So what do you think about those authors, Dr. Shakir?
Yeah, they are not available.
Maybe
They have some problem. So later we will deal in, I think they will send their video presentation and we will upload it to our YouTube channel. It's not a problem. So I think we can move to the Q&A session, and yeah, that's enough.
Yes, that's fine. That's fine. With the permission of the coordinator, now I am going to announce the question and answer session. And if any one of you have any question regarding any research paper with any of the authors, so please come forward and start the debate. And the authors are there and they are available online, so they will listen to you and they will give you answers to your question. So please, now the house is open for the question and answer session. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. And beyond these PPT related questions, you can ask me questions related to your papers. If you want to submit to F1000 research or any other multidisciplinary journals or Google Scholar Index journals, we are available to answer you now for your questions. Okay, so far I think there are no questions, and I'm inviting our session chair, Professor Khalilur Rahman, to have concluding remarks, and then we can move forward to the ending part of the session. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Shakir. Now I'm going to just say a few words, and there's what shall be the concluding remarks of this session. And I have the list in my hand, and these are 21 research papers. Majority of the papers have been sent to the conference coordinator in the form of videos, and these shall be uploaded in to the YouTube channel, and they shall be available to all the readers. During this session, we have 4 or 5 or 6 presentation, and I have assessed all these research papers, and the results shall be shared with the conference coordinator on Excel sheet. And later on, he is going to announce the best presenter of this session. Overall, all the research papers presented here in this session were of a good quality. The presentation was very much balanced. All the papers were having the necessary contents, and the paper were presented in a very balanced manner. And I have the comments and suggestions for all the presenters that please carry on the quality, the good work, and improve the quality of your research, and just to place your research work in the quality international recognized research journals, and work for more academic excellence in your field, and try to ensure the international visibility of the research you presented today in this session. So it's from my side. Again, thank you to all the participants. Again, thank you to Dr. Shakir, the conference coordinator, and again, thank you very much to the IIARP that provided us the opportunity to listen to the young mind and the fresh ideas from various different countries and different part of the world. So I am extremely proud of you all, because you are a young researcher and young scientist, and you have a very long way to go and to move forward and to explore the social world. And particularly that is what related to the management sciences, business sciences, or social sciences. So it's from my side. Thank you so much, Dr. Shakir, and thank you to all the participants for being with us for 2.5 hours. So thank you very much, Dr. Shakir, and thank you to the IIARP.
Thank you. Thank you
That's
so
from my
much,
side.
Professor Khalil Rahman, for joining us in assessing all the live presentations. And I hope that the participants of today's conference enjoyed a lot or today's virtual event. And it was, of course, really a great experience with all of you. Thank you so much for participating in our virtual conference. And I'm looking forward to see you in our upcoming conferences. And some of the participants were not able to join us, but they can go to our YouTube channel to see their presentations. I'm sharing the YouTube channel link here in the chat box. You can go here to see the uploaded presentations. This is the YouTube channel link. And those participants who yet didn't send their radio PPTs or were unable to present on Zoom can send their PPTs to our email address. I'm sharing our email address in the chat box once again. And this is our email address. You can send your PPT if someone yet didn't send it to our email, and we will upload it to our YouTube channel. And our respected session chair, Professor Khalil Rahman and our other reviewers evaluated all the papers and presentations, including the video presentations, very neutrally, and the results for the award winners will be sent to your email along with the proceedings and certificates. Yeah, and beyond this, I think I should share with you our Facebook page link that you can be updated for our upcoming conferences and workshop or other activities. This is our Facebook link. You can please like and follow it. Yeah, and if you have any question regarding your paper publications or upcoming conferences, you can ask me now here, or I'm sharing our WhatsApp number here in the chat box. You can add this WhatsApp number and ask me related to your papers or upcoming conferences. Yeah, that's all. And finally, I will just request that if you can open your cameras, that we can take a group photo. That will be great. Yeah, so I'm requesting to open your camera and I will take a screenshot. Yeah, thank you so much. So 1, 2, 3. Once again, 1, 2, 3. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah. So I think we have received many papers for submitting to F1000 research, and there are some procedures, guidelines to submit those papers to F1000 research, and we already informed the authors that the submission will be done from our side. And for the review process, we already, I think, shared the information how it works. And if you have any other questions, we will discuss it later, or if you want to ask it now, I'm available. Thank you so much. So if no question, I think we can finish this session with the hope that we can see you again in our upcoming conferences. Thank you. Thank you so much. And Professor Khalil, thank you. Thank you for joining us. So see you and bye-bye.
Thank you, Dr.
Thank you, Dr.
Thank you.
Shakir and
Bye-bye.
Abdullah.
Thank
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you so much.